Jesse.
Yep.
Seth here. We're PyroTracker YouTube channel. We wanted to check out the real deal. This guy does Passfire and a lot of really cool stuff. So I guess let's just dive into it and kind of tell us a little bit about how you got into all this.
All right. Well, thank you. Glad to have the opportunity to tell you about it. So I've always liked fireworks. It's something that goes back to childhood. I was always fascinated with them, and I was actually working as a filmmaker and working in China in 2012. And at that time, I happened to I was actually teaching also, and the town I was in was Changsha, which is the capital of Hunan province. And Hunan province produces something like 90% or some large percentage of China's overall fireworks production. So I started basically visiting some of the fireworks factories out of a personal interest and did a photo essay, and then that kind of got me in touch with the right people, and that grew into some video work, and then that we had one day the idea is like, well, this is really interesting. This could be a documentary, and so we started working on it from that angle as a documentary about fireworks production in China. And kind of once that happened, it was like, actually, there's fireworks all over the world. There's a lot more to this story, and the idea of kind of showing fireworks around the world and the way that they're used in different cultures and celebrations grew out of that. And that was all basically in 2012, and we started working on the film.
So, flash forward now, how many countries have you guys done this in?
So we have, as of this year, officially worked on fireworks video production in 25 countries on 6 continents around the world.
Man.
So the only one we haven't been to is Antarctica, continent-wise, which I've actually heard there once in a while there is like some special fireworks thing like the U.S. military, one of the bases does, but we're talking about like someone brings some sparklers for New Year's, or something like that, but not a regular fireworks show.
Well, maybe you'll just have to pull the permit yourself and make it happen for them. They need a little fire in their life.
That would be pretty cool.
So, what would you say is the most unique experience you've had along this journey?
That's a great question. So, I think I look at a few different countries that we have been to where it's some really unique fireworks traditions, and the kind of experience around that was very unique. So, India would be one of them, and that's people talk a lot about the videos where you see the guys digging holes in the ground and shooting directly out of holes in the ground rather than mortar tubes. So that's really interesting, that you just don't see that really anywhere else. And then some of what I call cultural fireworks events, where these really aren't shows; they're more festivals, and we're talking about like things in Mexico or Tultepec, that's right, or the Rocket War in Greece, things like that.
Really cool.
Yeah, very neat, and not organized, or not commercial displays in the way you think of them here.
Well, and make sure I want to throw this in there. Check out Passfire if you haven't. It's really awesome. They've got a multitude of videos that you can check out. If you got Amazon Prime, you get into the first edition.
That's right.
So,
and actually, we've actually put it up on YouTube now too, so you can check that out. Yeah. So awesome. We just want people to see it. It's fireworks is something that's very important to me. So it's something where some of these traditions are dying out. And so the video record of them may be the only thing that kind of ends up going
seize the
forward.
moment
Exactly.
Before it's gone.
Yeah.
So, what would you say is the scariest thing that you've encountered?
That's also a good question. So, fireworks-wise, probably some of the areas we saw where people were mixing flash powder. In most places, that's a pretty carefully controlled. I mean, it's always dangerous, but pretty carefully controlled. There was one place in particular I remember where there were just clouds of flash powder in the air, and like even the factory owner didn't want to go anywhere near that room. So basically, they have one worker in there, kind of separated from everyone else, and we went up there with some cameras, and the owner kind of stayed 100 yards back, and we didn't spend too much time here. We got our shots and left.
If the owners want to stop, then you've entered the danger zone.
So right, and that wasn't in the U.S. It was in other countries, but it was that was probably for me one of the scariest things.
Cool. What are the best ways to access your media, the different methods that people can purchase?
Sure.
What's going on?
Well, so the original Passfire movie, which is where I recommend anyone starts who's interested in what we do, that's now on YouTube. It's free. You can get it on Amazon Prime. If you want a physical copy of it, we do actually have DVDs and Blu-rays available on Amazon. And then basically after that, we came out with a follow-on series. So this was kind of a continuation of the Passfire movie, but in a serial form, and we had 2 seasons of that, season 1 and season 2, and those are out on Amazon and Vimeo right now. So that's where you can find those. And then this year we're working on a new thing, which is Passfire Maximum Load, and that's going to be kind of our season 3, but it's really a new spin-off because it's all shot in 4K. It's all new material that we shot over the last year, and actually we're still shooting some of it now, so that's what we're excited about.
Very good. So now tell us a little bit about your upcoming travels and where you want to hit next.
Well, yeah, so we actually just got back from a trip earlier this year to Jamaica, where we were covering some New Year's Eve stuff there for fireworks. And I think coming up next, in terms of, we've got a domestic trip that I'm excited about, which is the PGI. It's going to be the 50th anniversary this year. And so yeah, when you think about it, 1969 to 2019, that's a long time for a fireworks organization. That's basically spans now a couple generations this has been passed down to people. So I think it's going to be a very interesting event, and the PGI is, if you're a builder or if you just really like the fireworks community, it's a very special event. So
I really enjoyed my time at the one that I got to go to, and I really wish that I would have done it back in 03 when I first started dipping my toe in the water, so to speak. So yeah, make sure you check out PGI too. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Is there any other events in the U.S. that people might have access to that you think are not as well known that should be highlighted?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's the Western Pyrotechnics Association has something called the Western Winter Blast, which you can really kind of think of it in some similar terms to PGI, but it's in the winter. It's in February. It's out in Lake Havasu, Arizona. So if you're from anywhere in the north where it's cold, it's a great way to get away from the cold and kind of do some fireworks during a time of the year when most people don't do it. And that's very much a club atmosphere. But you're so close to Hollywood and California. There's a lot of people who do special effects for movies. So it's kind of a very high caliber of builder that you find out there, and some very interesting people.
A few more interesting characters. We're all characters if you like being around pyro.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that's one of the things I've liked the most in this experience is working with people, with pyros, working with people in the fireworks industry. Just really great people.
Cool. I'm trying to think. I feel like we've touched on quite a lot. I did want to ask, when we talked a little bit last night about all the work that goes into producing these things.
Sure, yeah.
If you had to take a guess, how many hours do you think it took on the first Passfire from after you got done cutting, or taking all the video to putting everything together?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I can tell you this, that it took about 4 years in total to do Passfire, from the time we got this idea started and all the fundraising, and then about 2 years of just shooting, and then it was really like probably a good solid year plus of editing, and that required going from just raw footage to a rough cut to several versions of that rough cut to a couple fine cuts to what we call a picture lock cut, where you have your picture set, but you're still doing your sound edit. So that was probably a good year, and that was pretty much working on that full time. So there's a lot of work to get the film done. The series now, they're going a little bit faster, but we're still finding it like an episode takes a good solid month of full-time editing to finish.
Wow. I mean, I think people don't realize this stuff isn't easy, especially the kind of grading quality that you're
and when you're dealing with documentary, you're not dealing with something that's scripted. So you're going through interviews and looking for clips. When you're shooting to a script, you're just looking for what the best take was, but not necessarily trying to find the story that's hidden in there, because you already have the story written.
It's right there.
Yeah.
Gosh, if you had to guess, what kind of dollar amount do you think it took to put in for the original?
That's a good question. I think I have to look this up, but I believe our kind of overall budget on that ended up being around $300,000 or something on that.
So that's a small fortune.
So yeah, and a big part of that is obviously when you're doing that much travel, there's a lot of travel expense, equipment's expensive, hard drives. Believe it or not, we have something like think at that time we had about 20 different hard drives, and each of those were backed up. So, you're talking at least 40 hard drives at, about $100 a piece, with a hard drive.
How much total storage space do you get?
Yeah, so I think now we're up to like 28 hard drives, and a bunch of those are 4 gigabytes, some are 3. So,
On the order.
yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, terabytes. So not gigabytes, terabytes. So yeah, a lot of terabytes. Yeah.
Wow.
Probably not quite 100 terabytes, but getting close to it.
Well, cool. I really appreciate you taking time. Is there anything else you want to make sure?
Well, thank you for taking the time to speak with me. We're excited to be at CobraCon. This event's been really great. It's their first year. I'm really glad to see kind of a new event coming out for the fireworks industry. I think it's also great for people who are just enthusiasts. So it's been great being out here. We're doing actually showing a sneak peek of our new episode from Passfire Maximum Load tonight, and so that's going to be something special for CobraCon.
Cool. Well, hey, thank you so much. Thank you for everything you do for fireworks.
Well, I really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. Well, I appreciate it.
I'm glad you found us.